This is an interesting topic, but necessary for us to have because the home overall can suffer under the weight of an insecure leader.
When we say someone is insecure, it means that they lack confidence in themselves. Every person desires to be enough. And so when we say someone is insecure, that means they feel not enough.
So in a way, insecurity is irrational.
You just make me remember a scripture in Psalms 139, verse 14. Where do you think King David was coming from when he said, "And I know that I am fearfully, wonderfully created, made in your image," and all that. And I know that very well. If, for instance, a boy has grown up being belittled, told that they are not enough. When they grow up, they, instead of being open to learning from other people, then they
close.
Mommy's boy, these are sons that have already taken instructions from moms or just depended on mom to make a decision for them.
So what does the wife do in a situation like this? Because, I mean, from everything you've described, it seems like there's no winning. Welcome back to Reality Check. Thank you for joining us. If you are new, please do subscribe to our channel. We are a mental health podcast and we focus on mental health conversations in the areas of family, marriage, relationships, parenting, and the workplace. And I typically do that with our resident therapist, Dr. Eva Satwine. She's the founder at International Center for Mental Health and Family Care. So if you need support in your family, therapy services, counseling, life coaching, she is your go-to person. And she works with a team of tried and tested therapists. And you can find all the support you need at ICFC. That being said, welcome back to our regular subscribers. Do give this episode a thumbs up. And if you like the content, share it with a friend or family. This week, we are going to be discussing something rather sensitive, but we have seen in our family structure, especially between husbands and wives. And we're going to be talking about husbands who we have observed as insecure and some of the things that they do in their families that manifest this insecurity. Maybe why they're insecure, where that comes from, and perhaps offer some help in terms of how you can deal and maybe how the husband can grow. So welcome back. Welcome, Dr. Eva.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
This is an interesting topic for many reasons. Interesting, but very necessary for us to have because wives and I guess the home overall can suffer under the weight of an insecure leader. And so I think as a way to start, maybe can we just describe what insecurity is so people know we are not just throwing or shooting stones to try and condemn. It is something that, by the way, both men and women experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except today we are focusing on the husband. Yeah.
I like that you gave it the sense of an insecure leader.
Yes.
Leader. Yeah. Yes. So just imagine if a leader is insecure.
Oh my. Oh my.
So that's a dynamic. Anyhow, insecurity, or when we say someone is insecure, it means that they lack confidence in themselves. So it is this sense of self-doubt, like really deep-seated sense of inadequacy and lack of confidence. Because, let me just explain it. Every person desires to be enough.
That's true.
Right? We desire to be desired, to be needed, to be relevant, to be, so in that sense, we desire to be adequate.
Yes.
To be seen to be adequate, to perform our duties as human beings. And so when we say someone is insecure, that means they feel not enough.
Not enough.
So it's that deep-seated, and I just want to emphasize deep-seated sense of not being enough. And definitely when I say we desire to be seen, we want to be perceived
As important.
as relevant, as sufficient, as as really as enough to be able to. But when you sense that someone has seen that you're not enough, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And look, maybe I should also mention at this point that that sense of being not enough depends on how you think people expect of you. Right? So this is how people expect me to be like, but I feel they sense I am not enough in that sense.
So in a way, insecurity is irrational. So what I'm here, and I guess the reason we're having this discussion is the thought is there in the person's mind that they are expected to behave a certain way.
That's look, I wouldn't even say it's irrational. I think it's in our nature.
Okay.
It's in our nature. You just make me remember a scripture in Psalms 139, verse 14. Where do you think King David was coming from when he said, "And I know that I am fearfully, wonderfully created, made in your image," and all that. And I know that very well. You see that?
Yes.
So it is. It's in our human nature. To be honest with you, I think at some point we all have a sense of inadequacy. You see, but what I would say, probably I wouldn't say it's irrational. I would say it comes from time to time, but it depends on our self-concept. How we perceive ourselves.
A sense of self.
A sense of self. And so it's and it is when maybe I wouldn't say it's irrational. I would say in most cases it is self-inflicted.
Okay.
Yeah, it is self-inflicted because do you hear self-confidence? The confidence you give to yourself.
Yes.
Right? Your sense of being enough. Now, at some point, I'm going to talk about the sources, but by and large, it's from the inside, how you perceive yourself. Now, for instance, people can offer it to you. They can offer you this sense of inadequacy. You're not enough. You're not likely. And you know that's what the world does. It's always plucking the little meat off us like chicken bone. Oh, you're not enough. You're not tall enough. You're not. Your eyes are not good, even when they are good. Like Rachel's. You. I mean, so many things. You're too tall. You're too short. You know that kind of thing. We don't think you're smart enough. So the world can give you that. People around you, for whatever reason, either they also feel insecure or inadequate. But if you feel enough in yourself, then you find that you don't suck that in and then allow that to define who you think you are. So by and large, it's self.
Okay.
It's what you think of yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's what you think of yourself.
That makes sense. And I think our self is informed by many things. And at this point, I would want you to talk about the root of insecurity, especially that we see manifesting in the leaders in our homes, the husbands in the home. Where do you think, or maybe where does it typically come from in your practice?
The biggest part of it is childhood. That's why I'm so passionate about parenting. Childhood experiences, they determine whether you're confident or not. That's why I've always encouraged parents, please tell your children they are great. Tell your children they are great. Because you see, our confidence is built by the most important people in our lives. Some random person will tell me I don't look good. But if my parent tells me I don't look good, I'm not enough, and you know statements that parents say to children, some of the parents encourage children by belittling them. So if, for instance, a boy has grown up being belittled, told that they are not enough, demeaned, and all that, what does it do? It sucks. Yeah. So it sucks your sense of confidence. Remember, we start from there. Do you remember, like when children are little, they go like, "Mommy, do you see this? See what I've done?" And then we say, "Oh, wow, that is
Wow.
so good.
Yes.
Wow, you're great. Oh, I'm proud of you." Now, I want to tell you, Rachel, that boys have actually suffered so much as they grow up.
That's
They are
true.
ignored.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a lot of cry about, oh, boys have suffered, oh, boy child, oh, boy child. A boy child, most of them get ignored right from when they are little.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
They are not, their confidence is not boosted.
Yeah.
Everyone goes on the girl, "Oh my God, you look good. Oh my
Yes.
God." Now, the parents think that boys don't need to be told how good they look, you know, how handsome they look, how they've dressed so nicely, how everyone goes for ponytail for the girls and all that. But boys are not boosted. Their confidence is not boosted. So
Yeah.
we all have, when we are born, we have a level of confidence, a deposit, so to say. But this needs to be reinforced. So boys are not encouraged. But also, in addition, they easily get belittled because people think girls have emotions, so
They're
you shouldn't.
delicate. Yeah.
And then boys are told they don't have emotions, but also no one pays attention to how they feel,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
And so boys grow up with no one ever telling them how great they look. That's Can I use this opportunity to
Please.
tell dads, any dad who has a boy, please tell them. Tell them they look great. One of the things I've told dads to do, the one major statement that your son craves is to be told you're proud of them. Now, whenever I say this, parents say, supposing there is nothing to, you can't have a child who there is nothing to be
Nothing.
proud of.
Yeah.
And so we have to be intentional about telling boys that we are proud of them. Now, that's a statement every boy craves. I would say every child craves, but boys, they need to hear, "I'm proud of you." Now, so if a son just makes through life and no one tells them they are proud of them, but also remember, you've done this, this chiboy, you know, this being belittled is so terrible. That's number one. Number two, when boys do not have a sense of a father figure, right? Because boys emulate what they emulate their dads.
Yeah.
And so they are always looking for models. Again, Rachel, if you allow me, can I speak to dads?
Please.
Please challenge yourself. What kind of example are you to your son? Now, when boys grow up with a broken dad, yeah, they lose confidence because they are looking to a dad as a model. So when the dad is broken, lost desserts and all that, they believe they are not enough. They have no one to learn from. And so that's one of the things that actually affects boys. Because you see, boys learn a number of things from dads. Number one, leadership. Leadership. So when they haven't had a dad to learn from, they believe no one can teach them leadership. That's why most of them struggle. And when they grow up, they, instead of being open to learning from other people, then
They close. Yeah.
they mask. So they mask and they assume, I know. Because they can't reach out to someone and say, please teach me. They always feel, I should have known this.
Yes.
My dad should have known this. Secondly, they learn a very, very important element of leadership, which is risk-taking. Risk-taking from the dads.
Yeah.
Because they don't learn risk from moms. They learn risk-taking from dads. Now, risk-taking is important. That's why dads, I've seen some dads, I have some of my brothers, really, I really want to use this show to talk about them, who are really in the lives of their sons, and they teach them that they jump. You see the games that boys play, they are not simple games of get a dory, comb it. No, they want woo, you know, those things. They help them to know how to capture things and take risks, challenge themselves, and really think big. Those are some of the things they need to learn. Now, when dad is not around, they never teach them this. So a boy keeps shrinking into themselves, and they are not able to come out and say, oh, look, I can take the world. I have. So this is confidence. It's his courage that is supposed to be nurtured by a dad. That is important. The third thing they learn from dads is ability to plan and control, because you see, men have a special deposit of control, which is very important, because they need to be in control. And when we mention these, I get women who say to me, so you mean us, we are not? No, that's not what I mean. Because of their inherent nature to be leaders, there is a way God created them to want to be in charge, to want to be in leadership positions, to want to capture things, to take risks and all that. Their men have that special element that should be there. These are things that help a person, a boy or young man, to boost their confidence. So dad presence is very, very, very important. Very, very important. So do you see how childhood is important? Now, again, can I also emphasize, Rachel, one of the things that actually rob young men of confidence is when they are put down, when they are growing up. They are not encouraged to speak up, to be listened to, and so they are put down. Shut up, parents who tell, shut up, what are you saying? What are you even saying? Shut up, shut up. Now, that is one of the biggest elements that contribute to that. But also, maybe I should use this opportunity to talk about authoritarian parenting. Authoritarian parenting also, and I think I've mentioned it here when we were discussing parenting. Authoritarian parenting is one of instructions, no empowerment. Rules and regulations, but no empowerment, no challenge, no listen to. When I'm talking to you and you listen to me and you say, oh, that's a good point, that boosts confidence. It gives me a sense of, I'm enough. I can also make a point.
Track,
I cannot, But when a child is, especially sons, when a son is growing up and you just keep telling them, what's that? Just do this, just do that, just do that. So you impair them. You impair not just their sense of confidence, but also ability to lead. Yeah, so children, sons who have grown only taking instructions, do this, do that. Now we've changed you from this school. You're no longer going to St. Mary's College, I don't know where. Now you're going to Kitov, wherever. That son cannot have confidence later on when they are a husband, because all they have known is dad to give them instructions or mom to bully them and take them all over. All over. Maybe this also reminds me of what you have had, boys being accused, or husbands being accused of being mommy's boy. Mommy's boy. Now, where does this come from? And we'll do a session, by the way, on mommy's boy. But mommy's boy, again, these are sons that have always taken instructions from moms, or just depended on mom to make a decision for them. And this is terrible, 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 terrible. Let me just say something about it even before we do a full session. I want to tell you, I've seen sons who can't make the least decision in their family, as a marriage, and they will say, I will ask mommy.
Wow.
So if they have a mom as a we call them helicopter parents, ever hovering over the son, or and I know a number of them. Honestly, I think in my circle we all can really name some from our circles, and because I'm into parenting, I tend to see a number of them. And most of the time, moms especially, we think we are loving our sons. That's the way we love them. Oh, my boy. Oh, my boy. I've seen some, I remember a particular case where um, at the wedding of the son. And this is what she said. She said, I've given you my son, talking to the sister-in-law, rather the daughter-in-law, and said, I've given you my son, but I haven't also given them to you. We'll share him.
Wow.
To be honest with you, that marriage didn't work.
Publicly, how can
It
it
didn't
work?
work. It didn't work because throughout, this son
Kept referring to his
kept
mom.
referring to the mom. Every decision, the wife is saying, can we, I think we need to move to another house. He knows. He's like, I have to talk to mommy. And mommy comes and says, you can't rent a house here. You're going to have to go here. You have to do here. So all the decisions are being made by mom.
My mom.
And I mean, of course, throughout, the boy has been impaired. And some moms, they are the ones paying rent, they are the ones doing that. They've not really got this child off, cut the cord. They haven't cut the cord. So the boy is just depending on mom for everything. So in that sense, he doesn't feel like he's adequate enough to be able to make decisions as a leader. You remember where we started from? As a leader of the home, he knows that if every decision has to be run by mom. So how do you, now who is the leader? It is the mom in the home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I hope that's enough for,
It does.
I mean, a number of other things, I'm very sure.
But I mean, from your explanation, I can see how upbringing plays almost 90%.
More than that.
More than that, actually.
Yeah.
Because as they grow up, what they saw growing up and the experience of maybe their dad and their mom will then inform how they behave in relationships,
Right.
in the workplace,
Right.
you know, when things get tough, their
Right.
ability to take risks, like you said, confront challenges and that sort of thing.
Right.
So when they get into the home, because there's that gap that has been created over time, then it begins to manifest as insecurity.
100%. And can I just amplify this? There's also a study that has been done that shows that sons of runaway dads, you know, you remember we did a runaway dads episode, runaway dads. We mentioned during that show that it actually robs of children robs children of confidence and happiness, but especially boys. Yeah, because boys view their sons as sources of courage. They see daddy can do this. I ever told you one time when I listened in to young boys argue about the strength of their dads. One who was saying, I know my dad can carry an elephant.
Okay.
You see, I don't remember, the other one said, I know my dad can fight a lion. So that's how they view their dads. Now, when they see daddy run away from situations, they don't understand. So then they know, oh, so men are not,
They're not as strong.
they're not as strong as we thought. So now that informs, I don't need to be, so I need to
Yeah.
shrink.
I can
So
shrink.
so that's what happens. So runaway dads is a very big issue.
Again, back
Of
to
course,
upbringing.
it also causes pain.
For sure.
Yeah, it causes pain because children generally perceive that as it's rejection. They perceive that as rejection. They say, "Dad has rejected us. He has rejected us," and for boys, it is bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. We were talking earlier about how insecurity manifests in the home. So, because for some people, they might be in the situation and they don't know that that's insecurity manifesting. So, let's talk a bit about what you have observed in terms of how an insecure man is likely to behave in the home, so that labeling the issue would help those who are watching. Because my husband behaves like this, it's possible that he's insecure about something. And then maybe for us to investigate what happened when he was growing up, because I think knowing the name of the problem is you're halfway there in terms of resolving it.
100%. So it manifests in different ways. But the biggest one is over controlling.
Okay.
Yeah, over controlling. So again, I've said, if I haven't mentioned this, sounds a little controversial, but every person in a marriage needs a level of independence.
I agree.
That's so confusing.
Yeah.
I need to go to the salon without asking for an exit
Permission.
visa.
Yes.
You see,
Exit
I
visa.
need to, I mean, there are certain things that one
Yeah.
needs to do. But when you have a partner that really wants to control your life, everything, everything. And definitely sometimes it's in subtle ways we don't understand, and sometimes someone can cover it and ice it
Love.
as love,
Yeah.
but you really see they just want to control your life all the time,
Yeah.
calling you at work. Who are you having lunch with? Who are you know, like, because they feel inadequate. Because they feel inadequate, they think, and please note, you hear feel inadequate. You may not be inadequate
Yeah.
in the real sense. And in any case, who is fully adequate?
There's no one.
There's no one. We all have a sense of I could be better than he, you see. But it's different from a growth mindset. You know, a sense of insecurity is not a growth mindset. Here you're putting yourself down, but here you're curious. You're driven by curiosity, or you can be better. So if I say, that's why we do self-discovery, and we help people to know you're great here, but you need to boost yourself here. So, but going back to how does it manifest? It's a feeling that you have nurtured. Now, it could be made worse. I didn't even tell you that, now you remind me, I didn't tell you that then growing up, we've talked about childhood, but growing up, it could also be made worse by a partner, and I hope you can, I'm running this by you so
yes.
that we don't forget it.
Yes.
But yes, controlling, over controlling your partner. Everything. You've had men, for instance, who say, you're not going to work.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah, it's very common. And then they say, oh, I can pay you a salary. I can.
Stay at home.
I actually want to ask whoever, I know probably some men are well intentioned
Yeah.
when they say, stay here, take care
Take
of
care
the
of the
children,
children,
I'll take care of you. Some
are.
But I also want to tell you, for some of them, I'm not going to put a statistic on it, for some of them, they are coming from a place of insecurity. Because they want a partner to be in a space where they can control them.
I know that she's at home.
I know that she's at home. I know no one else is looking at them.
Yes.
I know, that kind of thing, which is very, very unfortunate, because I want to tell you, a heart can race. Your partner can be home. If they made a choice to connect with other people, to run other relationships, they'll still be there. They still can run it. So it is. It's one of the areas that it manifests. And then so. Need to control, but also jealous and possessiveness. Now, these seem related, but I want to emphasize jealous. Jealous. Men who are jealous of their wives, it is big.
Jealous of, or jealous for? Okay, jealous of in the sense that they don't want other people to offer them any kind of attention.
And but who wants the other people to
Nobody.
Nobody. No, that's okay. But jealous of, to a point that some partners, some men, some husbands, even jealous of achievements.
Yes. Yes.
Again, this is really, really big.
Yeah.
There are some who are absolutely jealous of their wives' achievements. They won't validate them. They try to pull them down. They will say, oh, you've got that promotion, it's because, I know so many. They will say, I don't think you got that promotion on merit. It is thigh power. It is, oh yes. And there are so many. Now, of course, in these times where the dynamics have changed, and for a long time, men have assumed that their confidence should come from ability to earn money.
Yes, yes.
To earn money because money is a big thing that money feels good for everyone.
Absolutely.
Money gives us confidence, and that's okay. Money gives us happiness. It boosts our dopamine. We feel good.
In control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that cannot be a definition of self. So if you're, and I've always told my brothers, if your confidence is rooted in moving parts, money, wealth, this can be earned by anyone. That's why most of them are very destabilized, because for a long time they've used these moving parts to define their worth. You know, that's why they will still want to control with money. Stay home,
I'll
pay
give
you a
money.
salary.
Yes, yes.
You see, I'll pay you. So if you are my employee,
Where are you going?
oh yeah,
Hey,
I can control
I can
you.
control you.
I can control you. And some of them will buy a car and keep it in their names. You
A
get
form
it?
of control.
Yes, as a form of control.
Yeah.
This, I'm in control. But I was talking about jealous and possessiveness. Of course, every married partner, we all have a deposit of jealous,
Absolutely.
right? That jealous is normal.
Yeah.
And I've told people these emotions are normal, but then how are they fed? Either internally or externally. So you can feed your sense of jealous really, really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, of course, if you're jealous and possessive, then you can't greet every person you greet. Then that's a potential, I don't know
A
who.
potential suitor.
Suitor. And that can be really big.
Yeah.
So it manifests in that way.
Yeah.
And then you find that a partner has no peace. They cannot have peace at all, because they are just being remote controlled. Yeah. If you laugh, who are you laughing
Who are you
with?
laughing with?
If you, yeah. So that is that's a big one, and
Yeah.
of course, sometimes it leads to violence. Yeah, I've seen again. I'm dealing with many cases in my line of work where husbands are jealous and they do that. Cases where again a wife cannot have any sense of independence. No sense of independence. They can't go to the gym. They can't. So
Wherever they are men.
wherever they are men.
And you can't go outside.
So you can't go outside their gate, the gate that they've put around you, and so that's in that it also manifests. But I also wanted to talk about one more manifestation of jealous, rather of insecurity, overcompensation.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
overcompensation. So some of them who have felt inadequate, they are always very desperate to compensate. But in that compensation, when we call it overcompensation, it means it has a negative connotation, because we human nature, once you feel you missed something, now you think you have a way of getting it, then you go over and beyond. So that's why we call it overcompensation. Behaviors like now, if for instance you didn't have the freedom to make decisions, then you become aggressive. Yeah, you become aggressive.
You make your own decisions, and then you also make decisions for your wife.
But also you're protesting against like childhood adversities that you experience, because if your parents were making decisions for you, and now you're saying, I have to do this myself. And it's okay for you to want to break loose over, for instance, a helicopter parent, or a parent that never gave you freedom, an authoritarian parent. But then if you do it in a rebellious way, but now you're not rebelling against the parents, you're rebelling against your partner. You see? You're seeing your mom in your wife.
Yes.
And you're saying, you're not going to, I'm tired of women controlling my life.
I just came into your life.
You see that?
Retired.
So you're running away from some ghosts, but now the person suffering is your
Is your
partner.
one.
Is
Yeah.
your partner.
Yeah.
So it manifests in so many ways. And then, of course, a level of other ways of aggression, you find that a small little conversation because you felt inadequate, or I mean, you're oversensitive.
Yes.
Defensiveness, which we
Yes.
call you're overly defensive.
defensive.
So it is just a little thing. So your partner is cutting around you and they're walking on eggshells. They don't know which word to say not to offend you. So like that oversensitivity, over defensiveness, any little thing that is going to be said to you becomes a problem. Can I also, not to forget this, inability to take feedback?
Absolutely.
Yeah, inability to take feedback.
Yeah.
When a husband is insecure, remember they are in a place of leadership. They have a partner who is ready. And to be honest with you, there are some families where these wives mean well. They could be called successful, but they really mean well. They want to work with this partner. They just want to. They are looking for leadership to feed into and give you advice also based on what they think. But an insecure husband, oh, anything you say, you have ruled them. You are impossible. Now,
You're challenging
you're
their authority.
challenging them. Now, women of 21st century, oh, I can. So that kind of thing, it's very dangerous because they don't know how to be in a place where they can take challenge, especially when feedback is not positive. Oh, they're going to go over the edge. They're going to somersault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they feel one person to give me feedback, that means I'm not enough. So they don't see feedback as helping them to be better. They see feedback as reminding them of the inadequacy
Yes.
that they perceive.
Yes.
Right? So it can be so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just said a few, but very sure.
Very comprehensive. There's one that I wanted to add in there that I've noticed. It's a form of control, where a husband is saying, I don't want you to go out. So they'll probably start with stay at home, look after the children. And then when they realize, oh, she has to go to the salon, she has to go to the market, then he'll say things like, maybe you should cut off your hair. I like your hair cut.
Oh, yeah.
So they are prohibiting like beauty and growth from their partner. I don't like it when you wear trousers. Or I don't like it when you wear short skirts. Put on only long skirts. Make sure they touch your...
That's a decent woman. Because you become their project.
Exactly.
Yeah, you become their project, and you have to fit in their in
model,
their mental space
that they are seeing.
that they are seeing, because because they know that it's a lot of psychology. So they consider that if this person is seen with a necklace,
they'll be attractive.
They'll be attractive to another person, and they will be too much for me.
For me.
So then they have to
let
me
just
trim them. Let me trim them so that they can fit in and they become unattractive to other people.
Wow.
And they tend not to trust that this wife in their lives can make good decisions, healthy decisions, logical decisions, protect themselves. So they have this sense of urgency to protect and cordon off their partner.
So what does the wife do in a situation like this? Because, I mean, from everything you've described, it seems like there's no winning. If you talk respectfully, your choice of words might be in question. If you don't talk, that's also a problem. Meanwhile, you're being controlled. There are, moments of jealousy. What does a wife do? How do they support their partner? I guess with the understanding that this is a problem. It's an insecurity that's showing up. He may not be a bad person per se, but he's insecure, So how do I support him while encouraging change and growth?
Starting point is to know where the insecurity is coming from.
Okay.
One of the things I've always emphasized is for partners not to marry a stranger.
Okay.
Because you see, by the time you marry this person, unless you are not wise, rather attentive
Observer,
enough,
yeah.
attentive is the word, sorry. Attentive is the word. You're going to see some of these things.
Yeah.
Every time someone will come to me and say, oh, this person is ovary this, I'll always ask, did you see anything when you were dating? And turns out that they actually saw. But we get dismissive when we are
Dating.
our love is blind.
Yes.
But but you'll see them. You'll see them. You'll see all that. You'll see that someone is really, really trying to choke you, and then when you are dating, they are saying, "I love you so much. I don't want anyone to steal you," and all that. But you have to be very careful whether that's love or not. Anyhow, you're already married. So what do? Take time. Take time and know where that insecurity is coming from. Like some of the things I've mentioned, I've always encouraged partners, please get to know their story. Get to know their story. There are so many things we ignore, and we don't know that they inform the person that you're married to eventually.
True.
Because if, for instance, someone had a runaway dad, what does it mean? You don't just sit here and start accusing them of what's wrong with them. Now, I've always, please, Rachel, let me say this. I would encourage all of us married to people, please don't ask the question, what's wrong with them? Go ahead and know what's wrong with them.
Find out.
Find out. Don't just say this in a by way of condemning them. What's wrong with you? Please be interested, be curious.
Yeah.
What's wrong with them indeed?
Yeah.
There must be something, because our behaviors are always a reflection of what we have gone through, our experience. Life is experienced. And so it's very important for you to know. That's why I encourage partners, please avoid this whole thing of what's wrong with women or men. Men, you're not married to men, you're married to one person. This person has their personal story. And while they are insecure, please note that much of the insecurity was given to them without them applying, like what we have talked about.
Yeah.
If they were belittled as a child, that was not their choice. And so we need to empathetically be curious about why this person behaves the way they behave. Why are they insecure? They are not inherently wicked. No, they aren't. It's a struggle, a genuine struggle of what they've gone through. So that is very, very important. Try and find out why.
Yeah.
And if you cannot, do therapy.
Okay.
Right? Because for instance, when someone comes and says, I don't know what's wrong with my husband, they are controlling me, they can't allow me to breathe, they are choking me, I do what we call psychoanalysis.
Okay.
So I ask, tell me about your husband. How did he grow up? How much do you know? You hear someone, me, I married this adult, I don't care. You have to care.
You have to care.
You just have to care.
Yeah.
So most likely, there is something they are reacting to, or that has informed how they. So be curious. Number 2, make sure that you avoid perpetuating
The insecurity.
the insecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, because if someone is already insecure, that's an area of ministry. Then you need to heal them, not to make it worse. And say, what's wrong with you? Me, you're not going to control me.
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to be worse. Right? Now, if someone is insecure, don't make it worse. So your behavior, you see, I've told you that we all carry a degree of insecurity into marriage.
Yeah.
And this is why this is so, is because of the intricate nature of marriage. I've said it here. Marriage is the biggest form of risk.
Oh, yes.
It's the biggest risk any person can ever make. right? Because you do not just put in your financial resources, you put in your life.
Everything.
You put in everything. You put in your future. You put in your goals and aspirations. You're here to live with someone. That's why when a marriage breaks, we break. You don't just walk out of a broken marriage, you don't just, no. It is tough because it is a big, big emotional investment plus all the other investments. Now, when you have a partner that is insecure, then you're going to consider that they need to be supported through this. And so you take your cross.
Yeah.
You take your cross.
Yeah.
So you don't just say, this person is just insecure. Why are you insecure? If I just said this, if I come at 3, does it mean? No. If he's insecure, then you consider that this person has a wound that you need to help heal. So there are certain changes you're going to make, right? I'm married to a very secure man. You see, my husband is very secure right from when we were dating. He doesn't doubt me, he doesn't. But even in our situation, I make sure that there are certain things I have to pay attention to. For instance, I'll have some clients that will, once in a while, I'll have like a client that will keep me in office till late.
No. Yeah.
So I'm deliberate. First of all, it's a sign of respect. I'm deliberate. I'll send him a message and say, look, I've delayed here. I've delayed here. I'm here. Now, how about when you
Get ahead of the situation? Yes.
How about when your partner, your partner is insecure? You're not going to tell them to get over it. No.
Yeah.
You're going to do things a certain way to make sure that you don't run them insecure. You see, you're going to communicate more. You see, you're going to give them information even when they haven't asked for it. Just to make sure that you build security. Because you see, marriage can help you overcome situations or make it worse.
That's true.
Right? So you have to be intentional about avoiding certain things or doing things with an extra intention. That is very, very important. However, you also at a certain point as a partner have to know that certain things someone has to fix them on their own.
On their own, yeah.
So while you go an extra mile to do things a certain way, this person can make a decision to keep insecure because remember, it's self-concept.
Yes.
Right? So if someone makes a choice to doubt themselves, there are certain things you have nothing to do about. You see, it's a mental decision. It's a heart issue. You have made a choice to feel you are inadequate. So what am I supposed to do about that? But what I'm not contradicting myself. I'm saying, as a partner, you need to know that you've done the very best that you have to do. You're avoiding making it worse. Your behaviors are not making it worse. You deliberately encouraging him. I didn't talk about encourage him on stuff, but it's very hard to encourage men because especially when they have that, they don't take it. But the point I was making is you have to know that you stop somewhere.
Yeah.
If your partner makes a decision to feel inadequate, to feel insufficient, to feel a certain way, then you have nothing to do about it, right? But things like a little encouragement, appreciation, because if, for instance, your partner has grown up not being appreciated, but now they are with you and you also take it for granted. They buy stuff at home and then you say it's your role. Do I have to talk about that? I shouldn't appreciate you. Yeah. So there are certain things that a partner needs to do, but as I mentioned, you have to, at a certain point, you have to leave him to deal with some of the things, right? And if they make you responsible for their feelings, for their part, because honestly, Rachel, one of the things we have to acknowledge is that in marriage, when partners feel inadequate, they try as much as possible to shift the blame to their partner. So as a wife, you have to know what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very intentional about putting that line and saying, well, this guy, well, while I could have done this, but really, this part is yours. And in a nice way, you can say, look, I think you really need to get over this. Yeah, you need to get over this.
I think what I hear you saying is that even as a wife dealing with a situation like this, you need to be empowered.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're also insecure, then you begin to believe what this man is telling you, or the manifestations of his insecurity. If he is trying to show you that you're not as attractive, and maybe you're insecure about what you look like, then you begin to believe that you are not attractive and that you're supposed to be controlled, and maybe you can't make decisions for yourself. So I like what you say, that as a wife, you need to be empowered, and that empowerment can happen through therapy. You can come and, say, this is what I am seeing. Am I overreacting? Am I overthinking this situation? And so have somebody give you that perspective that you're not overreacting. Yes, there's a level of insecurity here. That way you're able to determine what things are your fault and what things are his, and that he needs to work on, which you have nothing to do.
100%. You have to know that spirits are transferable, right? Insecurity is a spirit. And if you're not careful, it's going to be transferred to you.
Yeah.
Because if someone feels inadequate, they're going to transfer this to you. So, for instance, when they are pulling you down, what are they doing? They are robbing you of the security that you have. And so, if you're not careful, they can plunge you into self-doubt as well. So, if you get in and you thought being tall was an advantage, and your partner say you're also too tall. Sometimes we even attack people's character, rather appearances and all, as if they have anything to do about it, or you're not as sharp as you thought you were, or wherever you are. It's very important to utilize a skill we call social awareness, because of course, self-awareness, you need to know who you are. You need to know who you are. That's why that scripture in Psalms 139 verse 14 is very important. And I encourage everyone to really emulate King David when he said, I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully created. And I know that very well. I love that part. Now, all of us need to know who we are. And that's why I encourage people to be enough in themselves. And to feel enough is not a sign of arrogance, or pride or arrogance. It's important. I need to know that, I'm great in some ways. My greatness doesn't mean I have no weaknesses, but I'm great. I'm great. So if my partner attacks my areas of greatness, I need to know where they are coming from. Because do they have a point? Or is their comment coming from a place of struggle, or are they really giving me feedback?
Yeah.
So we need to have a degree of self-awareness, which helps you to keep okay in the midst of that, and to be able to know where your partner is coming from. The sense of social awareness. Why is he saying what he is saying? Otherwise, he's going to just reshape everything about you, and before you know, you have just taken on the same spirit of insecurity. You see, you've taken that on. So it's very important for partners to know honestly. If you don't know, then it can be terrible.
Finally, the husband who is watching today and they're saying, oh, they're describing me. What would a first step be towards recovery, if there's such a thing, healing or growth for them? Maybe they realize that they are controlling, or they are overly jealous or overly defensive, and they can't take feedback and everything you have described. what are some practical steps or strategies that they can take towards personal growth and just becoming better?
The starting point is to put the right label on their situation, because you see, sometimes we've talked about some partners who perceive, especially husbands who perceive, now that we're talking about husbands who cover insecurity as love.
Love, yeah.
They mask, this is love. I'm loving. The starting point, if you ask me, would be honest with yourself. What exactly do you think you're doing? Right? Are you projecting insecurity, or actually you're expressing love? Because there's no two ways around it. You know what you're doing. So if in your heart, what exactly are you processing? In your head, what are your thought processes like? What thoughts do you have towards your partner? It is that private self-scrutiny where you're able to say, Konkan,
I've lied here.
I think I can go out and act, but what exactly am I processing? So that is the starting point. In psychology, we put it the right labeling. If you're honest with yourself that actually you manifest symptoms of insecurity, or you act insecure, or you have deep-seated fear, about anything around your partner, then face it and say, this is fear. So the moment you put the right label on something, then it is going to help you. If you label something as a negative thing, you command your brain to give you resources to deal with it. But if you keep lying about it and covering up and masking, you cannot. So that's the starting point. Yeah. Number two, you may not be able to know why you do what you do. It's very interesting.
That's true.
Very, very interesting, because then there is it's a process getting things from the subconscious to the conscious. So most of the time we have our storage here of experiences you have had and all, and some of the experiences were so nasty that you would rather not face them. My encouragement is for my brothers, get those experiences from behind, from your subconscious mind to your conscious, and say, by the way, this I faced it. It is a skill to do that. It is deliberate effort to do that. When you do that, that's a starting point to dealing with issues. Because all the problems we talked about, maybe you had pain. Yeah, you had pain. You experienced rejection from your parents or whoever, the people that loved you most. That rejection, of course, rejection sucks. Rejection takes away. It robs you of your confidence. Now, no one gets boosted by being rejected. No. You see? So whatever form of rejection you experience, can you please bring it to your conscious and deal with it and say, this happened, I don't even know how to deal with it. That is a starting point. Now, so things like understanding what your growing up again has held you back. Because like we talked about mommy's boy, why does your mother still make choices for you while you're a grown-up? Right? Please note that I have nothing. I have a son. So
you have nothing against.
I have nothing against moms. I'm a mom, and but I also want to tell you that moms, we have impaired sons. Yeah. Now, do you see that as a problem, or you don't see? Scan your problem. See what is happening. Why do you act the way you act? Listen to feedback. Don't close off feedback. My brothers, you do not take feedback. Take feedback. If your wife has been complaining about you controlling them, don't defend yourself. Listen and say, So be curious and be honest. You see, for instance, I'm sure you know this. Men who say, "Are you here take a photo of the people you're with. That doesn't look good. That's a big sign you're insecure.
Insecure.
How do you see that? Do you defend that? Do you validate that behavior as okay? Now, if it is not okay, it's not okay. It's not okay. So face it and say, this is not okay. Now, the moment you do that, you've come to a place of acceptance, you've labeled your behaviors okay, and the next step is make a decision about that. I'm not jumping in to seek help, but make a decision. Make a decision to do things differently. Reframe the way you look at things.
Yeah.
Make a decision to trust. To trust that you're enough for your partner. It's very, very heartbreaking to be married to someone who thinks they are not enough for you. You have nothing to do about it. You don't just keep saying, oh, you are enough for me, or you're enough. Please know that
Every day.
that's a full-time job,
Yes.
right? So if you have to make personal decision to view yourself a certain way, where your partner has nothing to do about it. So you have to make that decision. However, Rachel, till this point, I have to tell you that not many of us are able to do what I've talked about on our own, or you're just able to do a little bit. Please be open to seeking help. For instance, there are so many men who have been broken in their childhood, but they haven't healed this. They haven't made a deliberate effort to reach out to a therapist, to talk to them and tell them their story. Sometimes they don't know what they went through and how that informs their current situation. That's why I was talking about what therapists do.
Yeah.
You do psychoanalysis and say, you grew up like this, you're likely to behave like this. Have you considered? And then you see someone go like, that's right. That's right.
Sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I forgot to mention that, for instance, boys who have grown up seeing their dads control their moms,
More likely to do the same.
they are more likely to do the same thing because they perceived that as the right thing.
Yeah.
That's why you hear so many men now say, why don't you be like my mother?
She just used
She
to.
just, she, that, and I've told men, I've said, you're telling your wife to be like your mother.
your mom.
Really? Well, yeah, there are certain things they can learn from your mother, but several things that are different. The times are different.
Yeah.
Your mom probably had to just be there because she had no options. The options were limited. So if you carry that template and you want to fit you're carrying your mom's template, you're bringing your wife to fit them there. When daddy beat her, she said nothing. When daddy said don't go anywhere, you're not going to use that template. No, you can't use that. So you have to be able to challenge yourself and say, let me heal. And you cannot just live the way the world was several times. That's why you're using a different phone. Everyone is running about a new phone series, but they want to live as early men.
Yeah.
You can't do
You
that.
can't.
Yeah, so seek help. Seek help. This help is there. Talk to someone. Talk to a life coach. Talk to a life coach and say, I feel, because you see, Rachel, when we talk about leadership at home, you can't be a poor leader at home and a great leader in the public space. No. You can't. You're who you are wherever you go. If leadership is a skill, it is ability to take risks, it's ability to plan, it's ability to make decisions, decision making. If at home you can't make a decision, your wife is ever running after you, what are we going to do? Let me come back. When you're shrinking, you cannot, you're going to be acting in the public space, and this is not going to be an authentic you. So you would rather go out and seek help. There are all these resources. Every time my colleagues who do life coaching, we do life coaching together. But we have one of our colleagues who does strength discovery. I love it. She does that. And
Yeah.
every time she goes through a session with someone and you see people discover their areas of strength,
Yeah.
their areas of weakness, they know how they are going to solve this. That's going to empower you.
Yeah.
You're not going to be empowered by shrinking and acting and saying, hey, I'm okay. That doesn't make you an authentic you. So if you make that choice, you're going to be an authentic leader at home. You're going to be an authentic husband, someone who feels adequate in themselves, not horribly insufficient, and then you're making everyone to kneel just because you feel inadequate. No, just be deliberate about asking, getting help, deliberate about growth, be curious to learn and say, oh, this is how I can do things. And can I just emphasize that, Rachel? Men, please learn. Learn. You can't learn. There are so many men who have heard say, I didn't see my dad do that. Really?
Many, many years ago.
I didn't see my grandfather do that.
That is your excuse.
Ooh, that can't be an excuse for you
Yeah.
to live in the current times.
Yeah.
No, life is about learning, and life is about unlearning.
Yeah.
Unlearning. You can also unlearn some of these things you have perceived as you, as a person. I think I'm not enough. I think that you can make a decision to unlearn them and replace them and reframe them and say, I'm good, I'm okay, this good, I can learn this. All this can be learned. So there is a lot of work to be done, but it can be done.
It can be.
It can.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to take the initiative to want to be better. And it's sad that, if you can't receive feedback, then you can't be better.
You can't. You can't. And that's why you've heard some men say, me, that's who I am. Take me as I am. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. They can't take you as you are.
Yeah.
So if you feel low, low rating, so you're putting people on pressure to take you as that package can be improved.
Absolutely.
You can be better. You don't have to fear. And you don't have to put out this whole facade of this is who I am. And no, because if you do not deal with the inner, you're going to struggle on the outer. That's why people just assert themselves the aggressive way. Because you feel inadequate. You see, a person who is sufficient in themselves, right? Not arrogantly sufficient, but who feels enough. They are saying, oh, I can be better. That's why I emphasize the issue of curiosity. You see, not arrogance, but curiosity. Oh, they take advice. But there are so many men that can't take advice from their wives because they feel this person should not see that I need something else. No, you do. You need it. We all need it. Then you can't grow.
That's true.
You can't grow. You can't be better. You've heard men who say, I'm not going to do textbook marriage. What do you mean textbook marriage? And there are so many. By the way, Rachel, imagine we are closing and I'm remembering something.
Okay.
One of the reasons men feel inadequate is because they haven't been nurtured on small things that help them in life management. Small things like listening. You see, small skills like, do you know, like listening is a skill?
It is.
Now, if you're a leader and you don't listen,
What kind of leader?
what kind of leader are you?
Yeah.
You don't listen, and then you are reminding you're introducing yourself to your wife. I'm the man in this home. Like, really? I'm your dad. I'm the man in this family. That's where it comes from, because you don't need to introduce yourself to your people at home. They know. In fact, in our language, we have a saying that if a man starts introducing themselves to their children, then already there is a problem. By the time you remind people, I am the,
Then there's a problem.
then you don't feel enough. So please be deliberate. So men have not been given those skills: listening, communicating. That's why you hear some of them say, me, when there is an issue, I walk away. What do you mean walk away? Because you see, when you communicate and you communicate your needs, you communicate your boundaries, that empowers you, that gives you confidence that you can engage. But now when you feel I can't talk, then you start labeling your wife as talking too much, as nagging. You've heard of nagging. If I gathered 100 men in this room, Rachel, I'll tell you, over 90% will tell you that they have a nagging wife. Yeah. So I always ask them, what are they nagging over? Yeah. What is going on? They haven't listened. They don't understand what this person is talking about because they don't engage. They run away. They go with this perception of women talk too much, but they don't know that they also need to engage. So that's why those skills, boys, young men have not been raised to engage, to communicate, to put boundaries, and say, this I cannot take it. You see? So they fear to be attacked. They say this woman is going to attack me. But they don't know how to say, you see, I'm okay with you talking to me like that, but I'm not okay with you yelling at me. Yeah. You see? So simple skills like those have not been imparted in young men, and now when they are leaders, leadership, who has told a man how to lead?
If they haven't learned it from their dad. Yeah.
That's if their dad was also a leader.
Also a leader, yes.
But leadership is skill.
Yeah.
Leadership is skill. How can we expect men to lead without any leadership skill? You see, what is a leader? And then we don't teach them to lead. We take them to the workplace and they say, oh, I'm a leader. That's why some of them are even not great leaders in the workplace. Because once again, you're who you are wherever you go. You see, because leadership is skill-based. Then if you haven't taught your son to lead at home, what is leadership? Responsibility, commitment, commitment. Yeah. They are not committed to their families. What is it? Decision making, planning, risk taking. I'm going to take a risk. Accountability. Who has taught men that they have to be accountable? What is happening now? They are saying, oh, no, you don't have to ask me where I am.
I'm the man.
I'm the man in the home. So all the definitions of a man are the wrong ones.
Are the wrong ones, yes.
So what defines you as a man is to come home late
and not
explaining where you were. Yeah. So that's a leader. So if we have taken initiative as parents, as families, to groom this man who is a leader who is running away from their family. Imagine our president run away from this country. How would that look? Chaos. Yeah. So what are we doing? So if we have to boost our sons' confidence in marriage, then we have to be deliberate about teaching them. So that's I'm making the point last when I would have started with it. Grooming a leader, grooming a confident leader, husband. Yeah. You see, that's why, Rachel, I've always challenged all of us parents. There is a lot of, what kind of wife are you going to be? What kind of mother are you going to be? Where is the equivalent
of the
boys saying, what kind of husband are you going to be? And in all honesty, I don't know how many parents ask that question.
It's rare.
You see? Yeah. How are you going to treat your wife? Yeah. We are seeing boys fight, and boys always fight. That's why I hate this statement. Boys will always be boys.
Boys will be boys.
That's not true. That is not true. Boys should be raised to be great men and great husbands. What kind of dad are you going to be if you treat this? There's a guy I know who always took pride in me. I don't touch young children. I wait until I just enjoy children who are like 2 years. And I remember asking him, what are you going to do when your wife gives birth? So what are we doing? So we're still talking about a confident husband, because our confidence is boosted by how we feel about ourselves on the inside. So who has fed that inside? Who has fed it? So we have to be very deliberate about how we boost our sons.
Yeah, yeah. I will not add anything to that. But we do have our work cut out for us. I guess mothers who are parents, not mothers. It's a dad-mom effort, who are raising boys to raise them to be confident, empowered in themselves. To be able to be good leaders and good husbands, because you're preparing them for the future, the inevitable. And then for the wife, of course, who is dealing with an insecure husband, we have shared what you can do as well on the channel. And then to the insecure man, it's not a disability, it's not a sickness, it's a makeup in who you are that can be improved, and that can be worked on for you to have a better and wholesome marriage. So I guess that's it from us on this conversation. I think we've tried to handle it with as much grace as possible. We would have wanted for a man to be on this channel, but I feel like Dr. Evers, you did this conversation justice. So thank you. Do you have any final words?
I think I've said all the final words.
Yeah.
Maybe one final word to say, life is a journey.
Yeah.
Life is a journey. If you don't feel confident today, it doesn't mean you can't feel confident tomorrow. It's a very good mindset to have, to know that any day can be a day for better. And so whatever you feel and it is unpleasant, you can unlearn it. You can unlearn it. You can challenge it, and you can be better. So I'm speaking to men and husbands, and if your partner has told you that you're not good enough, because some of the statements like "be a man," what kind of man are you? Don't take them to heart. Also try to challenge and find out where your partner is coming from. In most cases, I think people who say those, they're also hurting or they are reacting. But can I also talk to ladies by way of final words? Please, if your partner already feels bad about themselves, don't make it worse. Don't make it worse. Don't ask them to man up.
That's not the point. It's not the time to ask them to man.
I actually want to ask ladies, please avoid that statement as much as you can. There's no one who is encouraged through being belittled. You can't belittle your husband into courage and confidence. No, don't do that. That statement sounds, it's like cliche. It's like people enjoy it. Oh, I've told my husband to man up. Don't tell them to man up. If they have areas of weakness, support them. Support them. We shared all the ways you could support them. But as much as possible, don't belittle them. And to parents, of course, some of us who are still raising boys to be husbands, let's be deliberate about boosting their confidence, because leadership is not a cup of coffee. Leadership is a big thing. And the worst thing any person can experience in a marriage is to have a person who feels incompetent, who feels inadequate. So as much as possible, let's be deliberate about boosting the confidence of our sons. Healthy confidence, not arrogance. Helping them to know that they are enough, and helping them to experience the humility to learn, to desire to learn, and to be better. I'll just stop there, Rachel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Evers, and thank you, our audience, for watching this episode. We do hope that you have found it helpful. Leave us a comment, tell us your experience, and of course, take advantage of the contacts on your screen if you need help in this area, whether you're a wife or a husband. We'll be back next week with another conversation for you. Until then, stay well and stay healthy and keep it reality check.